Hey folks, welcome back to Life Walk Wellness. It is Wellness Wednesday again. Thank you again for joining me. So today we're going to talk a little bit about cooking at home. And I know over probably this whole past generation, we've kind of lost that art of home cooking. Not really anybody's fault. It's just the nature of how we are now, how we live. We're super busy. You've got both parents working, sometimes multiple jobs. And all of the conveniences that are out there now are just too good. Takeout pizza delivery way back in the day was nothing compared to what you can get now. You can get almost any type of food, Indian, Asian, Italian. I mean, all of it can just be delivered to home. So why should we cook? That's what we're going to take a look at today. So one of the reasons why we should cook at home is because you can really keep control of the ingredients. You know what's going into your food. And yes, there are great restaurants out there that do a really good job of that, but really nothing beats that good home-cooked meal. But I hear you, we're all busy. Nobody has time to do that anymore. Back in the day, mom was at home, cleaning house and cooking the meals for the family, and when dad came home from work at the end of the day and the kids came home from school, everybody sat down to a great meal. And for most people, that's not possible anymore, and I get that. But there are a lot of real quick and easy ways that you can prepare some home-cooked meals, maybe not every day, but you can have them at different times throughout the week. And so today's Wellness Wednesday is going to be real brief, just to kind of give you an overview of how you might want to start looking at that. And then going forward, there are going to be a few other videos getting really more into detail about specific recipes and how to build quick and easy recipes. So that's where we're going with this next. Especially if you're new to cooking. Like I said, so many people in this current generation weren't brought up around parents who cooked and where big meals were cooked in the home. So a lot of those skills have been lost, and you may have to start from scratch if you're just not a good cook or you were really just never taught how to cook. And like I said, I'm going to have some more detailed videos coming up soon, so be sure and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe because you're not going to want to miss those. But for today, we're just going to go through an overview about how you can start getting into home cooking. And for starters, just pick one recipe. Don't overwhelm yourself. Browse the internet. There's a lot of different social media sites where you can find some really great recipes. And you can do a specific search for quick and easy, or 3 ingredients or less, or 5 ingredients or less. So pick one recipe, and when you go shopping, shop with a plan. So very often what I think happens to people is that you go into the grocery store with, you sort of have a list. You need to get toilet paper and toothpaste, and you need to get food, but you're not really sure what, except maybe some specifics. Oh, I know we're out of frozen pancakes, so I know I need to get those. But if you've got a recipe set, then just make sure you get those ingredients. Put them on a list, and once you have those, when you get home, you can then start that meal. And you don't get halfway through preparing something only to realize, oh my gosh, I don't have any shredded cheese, or oh my gosh, I don't have any garlic, or whatever it's going to take in that recipe. So pick one recipe and shop with a plan. That way you can just get started one recipe at a time. Once you've mastered that one, branch out a little bit. Maybe find another recipe that you want to try. List out the ingredients and shop with a plan. Okay, another great tip, and this is something that, even with only a couple of people in the house, I do all the time. Make a large batch of something and freeze part of it. Now, this is real easy to do with meats and with your proteins. So like you can get a giant pork roast, throw that in the crock pot, cook it for a couple of hours, and you've got like 3 or 4 pounds of shredded pork that you can put in tacos or enchiladas, or obviously a lot of Mexican food, I live here in Texas. That's something that we just do a lot. Everything is a taco. You can do it with chicken. Put it into salads. So you can make these big batches of things and then freeze them in specific portion sizes. So then you get home from work or you're planning out your meal for the next day, you just have to pull it out of the freezer and let it thaw. It's already cooked, it's already ready to go. That also works really well with things like lasagna or big casseroles. So you can just make a larger size than what you might normally need, portion it out, freeze some of it, and then have what you cooked that night for dinner. So all of a sudden now you've not just cooked one meal, but maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Speaking of tacos, so one thing that you're going to want to do is get creative with some of the staples in your pantry. And by staples, I mean things that you have in there all the time. Maybe you always have certain cans of beans or canned tomatoes or soups or tortillas. Again, with the tacos, here we go. Anything can become a taco. I've had leftover Indian food from one night go into tortillas the next day for Indian tacos. Seriously, I'm not kidding, folks. Just get creative with it. You can take a can of chicken broth, a can of black beans, a can of tomatoes, and maybe a little taco seasoning, and you've got a chicken tortilla soup. Throw some chips in there, crumble them up a little bit. So again, just get creative with some of the staples that you already have in your pantry on a regular basis. Okay, here's another one. Now this might be more of a challenge for some people, and you might have to go online and do a search for different recipes with specific ingredients, which you can do, by the way. You can go out there and do searches and say, I have this, 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 and this. Show me what recipes I can make. So for this challenge, it's to do a fridge and or pantry clean out. So look in your refrigerator, look in your pantry, and see what items you have in there that maybe have been sitting there for a while. They're going to need to get used soon. You bought them, but you don't remember why you bought them. Or maybe you just bought too many of something. So do a clean out. Go in there, pull out all the stuff, and take a look at it and say, hey, what can I make with this? It might be a casserole. Casseroles are great. Almost anything, just like tacos, anything can become a casserole. So that's your challenge. That's tip number 4, do a fridge or pantry clean out. So something else that we run into a lot is you get all excited about cooking, or you're on a new health kick and you go to the grocery store and you buy a whole bunch of fresh produce. How many times, now I'm on it, I'm going to raise my hand to this one as well. How many of you have regularly thrown out full bags of the pre-cut lettuce, right? You buy it, you think, oh, I'm going to eat this, and you can't eat that much lettuce. You can't eat that much lettuce in a month, and it's going to go bad. And so you end up throwing out the whole bag or a half a bag because you just don't get to it. So for fresh items like that, shop sparingly. Things like canned goods and even meats you can freeze. Any pantry items, you can stock up on those things and always have them available. But for the fresh stuff, just shop for that week. Decide, okay, I'm going to have a salad with these 2 or 3 meals this week. So I'm going to get some lettuce to make sure I have that for those. And make sure you get your salad dressing, whichever kind you like, because there's nothing worse than dry lettuce. You're not a rabbit. Just saying. So, fresh fruits and vegetables, same thing. A big bowl of apples looks great sitting on the counter, and it looks festive. It's fall. We like that. But if people in your house don't eat apples, they're just going to go bad and you're going to end up throwing them away. Or if you get this big 10-pound bag of apples that nobody can eat in a lifetime, they're going to go bad. Again, just get what you need for the week when it comes to fresh items like produce. Everything else you can stock up on, and just once a week pick up those few fresh items that you need to have on hand. So that's it. 5 quick tips on just how to start bringing some home cooking back into your life. Like I said, I've got some other videos already lined up where we're going to get more in detail, not just about how to make the time and how to prepare recipes to cook at home, but I'm going to have some actual recipes for you. So again, stay tuned, like the videos, subscribe so you don't miss any of those great recipes. Comment below. Tell me what kind of creative things you've done if you've done your fridge and pantry clean out. What have you put into tacos that's maybe somebody else might enjoy hearing about? So like, comment, and subscribe, and until next week, Have a great life.